Harry Jones has the next question, and it is for Mr. Visconti.
You've been mentioning what you call the tidal waves of deficits coming. You said if you were elected governor that you would go back to the public sector unions and ask for more concessions to face those deficits. And you've said if you don't get those concessions, tax hikes might be the only way to go. How do you think that they would respond to that ultimatum?
It's an ultimatum because the state of Connecticut voters and taxpayers need help. It is not the union's fault. We had deals with them. And what I've heard for 18 months, Joe, it's not our fault. We were promised, and I said to each individual I met over 18 months, we know it's not your fault. But in order to preserve the pensions and your long-term pensions funded so that you can retire, and those behind you in the union can retire, we need your help. You don't have to give it. We may not have the concessions from the unions, even when we open up contracts. But the reality is that we're not asking them for the whole apple. We're asking for a bite of the apple. I will put a number down to the unions, to the negotiators, and we will ask them for that. If they don't give back, there will be privatization. There will be layoffs. Because we have such a tidal wave coming after the 3 years, we're not sure where we're going to end up. So we need to look at cutting spending. We have to prune the state budget, not trim the state budget. And right now, everyone's talking about all these different ideas of trying to keep businesses here. We have to keep Connecticut residents here. And no one's looking out for the little guy. They're looking out because they think maybe if we give money to large corporations, they'll stay here. Union workers have to help us to help themselves. It's in their best interest, and it's not their fault. My mother-in-law was the treasurer of the state employees union. I know very well from her years ago exactly what happens inside. So I'm not blaming them. I would never blame them. We need their help to balance the future budgets.
Mr. Foley?
I was at, let me follow up a little bit on what the governor just said. I was at Pfizer today and talking to them about employing people in Connecticut, and as you know, they've made a number of significant reductions in employment here. And all they were saying to me was that they wanted a more cooperative state government, a government that worked with them and cooperated with them. They weren't looking for money, they weren't looking for subsidies, but they were looking for a dialogue, and they're not getting that dialogue from this government. And while the governor talks about helping UTC, what about Fusion Paper? 145 jobs out of Sprague. Smith's Detection in Danbury, 130 jobs, gone. Yardney Technical Products, 150 jobs, gone. Unilever, Clinton, 200 jobs, gone. W.E. Bassett and Company, 300 jobs, gone. This is on your watch, Governor. Jobs are leaving the state. With respect to the union contracts, a contract is a contract, and unless the unions agree to open up the benefits contract, a governor cannot open it up unilaterally. There are a number of ways to get our fiscal responsibility, fiscal house in order, and I don't think we have to do it on the backs of our public employees. The public employees actually do the work of government, and they need to feel like they're well compensated, secure in their jobs, they can take care of their families both while they're working and in their retirement. But they're less than a third of the budget. It costs $21 billion this year to run the state of Connecticut. That's a lot of money. And I'm saying we can run the state of Connecticut for 2 more years on $21 billion. We don't have to cut benefits for state employees. We don't have to reduce the amount of their pay. And I actually think that with strong leadership, I'm an experienced leader, 35 years of running large corporations, I will have a plan and a destination for this state, and we will persuade the workers in state government that they will be better off with that plan, helping get the private sector up and going again, so that Connecticut, we can restore the pride and prosperity we knew as recently as 5 years ago.
Governor?
The reality is that Connecticut has seen the creation of 60,000 private sector jobs. There will not be a deficit in year 1, 2, or 3, as has been referenced. Average spending increases on a yearly basis in my administration have been less than 2.8%. Last year it was 2.4%. In the 4 years leading up to the Great Recession, the state under a Republican governor was increasing spending at 7.5%. That's the reality. We've made tremendous progress in getting our fiscal house in order, and that needs to be sustained. Of course, Tom jobs leave, and of course, Tom jobs come. By the way, with reference to Pfizer, I have been with the president of that company on several occasions, on the phone with him on other occasions. You might be happy to know that his daughter was an intern in one of my campaigns. I've been at the campus and had interesting discussions on that campus about opening up a new center, which will be devoted to the people of this portion of the state for innovation. Laboratories being made available on that campus because we intervene. That's who we are, that's what we are, that's what competition looks like. We're in discussions about other buildings being used to be occupied by other companies right here in this region who want to expand extensively. You know, I get down here pretty often. They know me over at Muddy Waters. In fact, they know me at every coffee place in town. I've spent a lot of time working on programs to bring jobs to this portion of the state because it has been hard hit, and particularly hard hit as a result of over-reliance on casino gambling and, of course, losing jobs as a result. What we need to do is diversify the economy in this portion of the state, and that's exactly what our investments at Pfizer will make. That's exactly what our other investments with small businesses will make in technology, in security, in IT. That's who we are, that's what we are, and that's what competition looks like.